Welcome to part 3 of the Twisted Metal Black playthrough. Now, I'm going to enter Black Vista Highway. Oh, this is the Highway Loop episode. Oh. Yikes. I run into a little bit of a snafu here. You see, God mode, while it gives me infinite ammo, infinite health, infinite boost, infinite energy to do whatever the hell I want, this happens! But I do have a lives counter. I always start with 2 lives per stage. It's not really 2 lives per... It's not really 2 lives per story. It's more of like 2 lives per level. At least I think this is the case with all modes. You can choose like easy, normal, hard mode, things like that. Although I have no idea what's the difference besides the AI going after you more often than not. Which actually sounds kind of good. Just get everything done, please. It seems like the frame rate is actually not all over the damn place like it was in part 1. I'm ready to keep my mouth open so that I can stick my foot right in it. And I fall right off the edge there. So now I'm down to 0 lives. So technically I have 3 lives. No, that's not the case. I know it's kind of late of getting into this, but the energy meter is for... Oh, hello, Sweet Tooth, hello. The energy meter is used for special certain attacks, not really your special weapon per se, like what Sweet Tooth was doing just now. Or what he is doing right now, I'm sorry. Something like binds, a shield. It's usually something temporary. It's like a mine, a shield, invisibility. But it always requires like certain commands. So if you hear like a random like beeping sound, more than likely I activated the button combination that requires for you to lay down a mine. I think I just killed Sweet Tooth off. I think. I don't know, I just saw a towering figure that's not really supposed to... That's not really supposed to be on my screen. Yeah, right now I'm kind of playing it safe. Bear in mind, I'm going to be doing this again. Later on in the future. There's a level that I'm not particularly comfortable of. Oh yeah, there's also the ever so annoying freeze missile that every single AI knows what to do with it, and they tend to spam it whenever they can. Towards you specifically, not the AI allies. Do I even want to consider those AI cars, allies, even? Because they're also going after each other. Anti-allies? Is that even possible? Something to think about, I'm sorry. Sorry for the no commentary there. I gotta say, the soundtrack is very... How should I say this? It's both creepy and energetic. Depending on what the situation is. Basically, here's how the soundtrack works. If you are under fire, like where I am at right now, then the music picks up. But if I am all alone, then the music becomes kind of creepy. And he just drove right into a mine and exploded. It becomes kind of creepy. It really does set the atmosphere of you trying to survive. You can also tell whether or not you're down to the last car between you and the last car. How many more times am I gonna say that? When you get a music change like this means that there's only one car left for you to destroy. Kinda sense the mood of tension. And I think we got one last thing to do before we end off part 3. I think... Well, given by how the track record is at the moment, so far it's been like one level per video. I highly doubt we're entering where I think we're entering. No, we are! We're actually at the halfway point! Wow! Okay, this is stage 4. This is stage 4, Minion Stadium. Yes, we're actually going to face off against Minion, a classic character in the Twisted Metal series. At this point, as you can see by the signpost to the left, we are on stage 4 out of 8. Which means that we are just about at the halfway point of this playthrough. And there goes the frame rate. I knew it was too good to be true. Minion has a shield. The only way to get rid of the shield is to constantly fire random weaponry at him. Which, thanks a lot to God mode, I just spammed the freaking fire button on the weapon usage. There are multiple panels on the entire car. When all the panels are destroyed, the shield goes down. At this point in time, you can absolutely ass rape this guy. You can absolutely rape him with as many weapons as you want. Just unload on the guy. Now I'm making it sound creepy. Then again, this is Twisted Metal Black, so... Jesus Christ, frame rate! Wow! Minion can also be playable. This is actually what you see. What you're seeing right now is what you can also play. Cutscene.
I was asleep for hours, dreaming about weddings. In fact, one very special wedding. I was one of the bridesmaids as usual. My friend Kristen, she was the one getting married. Can you believe what she did? She actually had the nerve to throw the bouquet to me, that little bitch. Looking back, I'm not sure it was such a good idea to come off my medication.
Mary, Mary, quite contrary. You're just an ugly fat cow.
Ouch.
I think that
fat
day,
cow.
my heart
Wow.
just snapped in two. And I think my mind did the same. So I grabbed the closest thing I could find, and then I wasn't
There's
really
apparently
sure
another
what I
butter
did.
knife.
If I wasn't going to have a man, then no one was. I dragged Kristen's fat, ugly body into one of the dressing rooms and bolted the door. Standing there in Kristen's dress, I realized I was the most beautiful bride I had ever seen.
Just, don't mind the bloodstains, people. It's,
When I win this contest, Lipsa
everything's
will find
fine.
me a man who thinks so too.
Everything's fine. Just don't mind the bloodstain. Or fruit punch. Yeah, let's just